Some people know me as a mom, some people know me as a teacher, some people know me as a missionary. But I am a mom. I'm a mom of 3 children of my own, and then I was blessed to be the mom of a young boy that I met in Haiti 10 years ago. I went on a mission trip to Haiti with North Star Church, and I figured I was going on my 1-week deal. I often tell people it was kind of like my check in the box that I could say I have done a mission trip. When we were traveling on the trip, many of the young missionaries with me were all excited about all the little babies, and were talking about how much they wanted a little Haitian baby. They're so beautiful. And I remember looking at them and thinking, oh my goodness, that is the last thing I need. I already raised my children. I don't need another child. However, God, again, had a different plan. And when we arrived, this small boy, who I actually thought was 5 at the time, came running around the back of the building that we were in, and he ran to me. And I remember I rejected him, and I passed him off to some of the other girls, and not realizing what I was doing. And then that evening we came back, and that evening he had a tennis ball that looked like it was 10 years old, and he tried to play catch with me, and it made me nervous, uncomfortable. And so I started playing catch, and I still remember it was Amy Roach that I tossed the ball to, and I said, hey Amy, he wants to play catch. I didn't want to be alone with him. And again, I felt like I had pushed him aside. And then that evening when we came back for our service, he had saved a seat at the back of the church, and when we all walked in as a missionary group, he patted the seat on the church and he looked right at me, and I knew that I had to go to him. And at that moment is the moment that I knew that God had placed another child in my hands. 5 months ago, I was sitting in my lawyer's office with my husband because we were making plans for retirement financially. And as I was sitting there, my husband mentioned, that my dad had left a little money from his passing. And at that time, I looked at the lawyer and I said, I've always wanted to do something good with this money, and I wanted to leave it in my son Matthew's name. And he looked at me and he said, well, what did you want to do? And I said, well, I was thinking about starting a mission in Haiti. And he said, I can do that for you. As a matter of fact, we can have that done in 2 weeks. The book of Matthew has always been really important to me, and when I had my second child, the name Matthew is what I felt he needed to carry for his lifetime. Unfortunately, we lost Matthew to a battle of cancer at 2.5 years old, but there was something I always wanted to leave in his name, and so when I decided to start the ministry, I thought that Matthew's mission of hope and joy, because he was the most joyful child, was the right name for our ministry. In that 5 months, so much has taken place. God has just taken over the entire ministry. He started with showing me that people needed to be fed. And when I found out that people needed to be fed, I realized that my son, who I left in Haiti 10 years ago, hadn't eaten in 4 days. So I immediately contacted someone that I had always remained friendly with in Haiti, and I asked him to just send $100, I said, and see if you can just get food to him. He hasn't eaten in a few days. And he looked at me, he called me and said, Diane, $100 will feed him for a month. And I went, that's good. And so the very next day, he took pictures of Searles and his mom and his little brother, and there was big bags of rice and beans and all kinds of eggs and chicken. And what we realized is that $100 a month can feed a family. At that time, I realized that there were so many other families that we could help. And so while my lawyer was going through all the paperwork and getting everything set up for us, I contacted who is now my liaison, Patrick, and I said, Patrick, is there a way that I can get some funding to you so that you can feed other people besides Searles? And he said, absolutely. And that's when we started our program together, just feeding groups of people that he would know, groups in his community, groups in another community, and that just led and opened more doors. This ministry, which I thought was going to stop being a ministry of just making sure that we were getting everyone fed, has led to feeding them, housing them, and educating them. The people that I met and the things that I saw made me realize that God had a different plan for me. I believe often that people ask me about why I go to Haiti, or they could never go to Haiti, and you know, what people need to understand is to really live a live-sent life. You want to make sure that you're doing what God has planned for you. It may not be Haiti. It may be working at your school. It may be volunteering at the church. It may be helping neighbors in your neighborhood. But everyone is called to live sent by God.